Hello world. At this point, my name is irrelevant. I'm just another nigga. Born and raised in Baltimore City, 40 years old. I got 3 older sisters. My mother died when she was 63. I believe 62. My father was deported when I was a kid. I was 5. I was 32 when my mother passed away. And I said I had 3 sisters. And truthfully, to this point, as far as I'm concerned, to this point in my life, I've been underachieving. An absolute and total disappointment to myself, really. You know, it was just one day I woke up, I realized I had 3 beautiful children that my wife and I are destroying, truthfully, filling with our bullshit. I was just fed up. I'm dead end. Like I said, some people would say I'm doing good. I got a little job. I like my job, but it's not fulfilling enough. I make a little money, but it's not really much in the grand scheme of things. It's so much less than what I really should be giving myself. What I should be offering my family, truth be told. And like I said, I woke up one morning and I was tired, and realizing that as far as I was concerned, I was fucking everything up. So I started trying to figure out what was wrong. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with us? What's wrong with, because it matters. And I finally understand that it's me. It's self. That's what's wrong with all of us. Everybody looks for external. With, external validation, external reasons why and why not. And it all ends and starts with you. It ends and starts with me. What you put out is what you get. It's just that simple. Like I said, I would say I've wasted the last 18 years of my life. Other than having kids and working the same job consistently, I haven't accomplished anything. Unfortunately, my wife will be extremely insulted by that statement because she doesn't really see things the way I see things. Like I said, I was fucked up and I wanted to know why. And I went looking and I came across a word that I've come to understand is really what's wrong with all of us. And the word is codependency. A lot of people really don't know what it means. People kind of think it's the opposite of independent, but not exactly. Codependency is it's actually the opposite of interdependent, in my opinion. It's known as the disease of a lost self. And when you're codependent upon someone, you and that other person have improper expectations of each other. You're either the enabler or you're the codependent. Right? The enabler is the junkie, the codependent is the alcoholic, the junkie, the spoiled kid, the person who expects other people to deal with their bullshit just because they love them, or because they're them, or because, I got dropped on my head, so you should treat me extra special. Nah, motherfucker. You got dropped on your head, so what? Nigga, get it together. That's it, and that's all. And the other aspect of the situation is the enabler. The enabler is the person that always complies. Like, I done got high for 25 years and ruined everybody's life. And I expect you all to act as if nothing happened. To forgive and move on is one thing, but to expect me to act as if the shit never happened is another thing. The enabler does that. The enabler takes that shit constantly. And they'll find a reason why to continue to deal with it. It's just that simple. And the shit blew my mind. Like, when I finally ran across it, like I said, I've been diagnosed manic. I had a depression when I was a kid. I went to a psychologist one time. They said I was depressed. I moved on. I personally feel like my wife does have some psych issues, but that's neither here nor there at this point, because I understand that this problem itself, even when you feel like, okay, it's your fault this is going on. Well, that's bullshit. It's not your fault this is going on. It's my fault that I allow myself to be in cahoots or involved with whatever's going on. Like I said, I was born to be an enabler. My mother was like a robot, really. I think I saw her cry maybe twice in my whole life. And she never reacted to anything, like, no matter what went on. Like I said, we was homeless. We was homeless for a year. We was going to go stay in somebody's house, and for whatever, they find a reason to put us all out. And we went from house to house to house. We finally went and stayed with my grandfather, and my grandfather was alcoholic. Blackfoot Indian, one-legged menace. He was an animal. And shit, he put us out on Christmas Eve. I never forget it. And I can remember asking my mother, why granddaddy do that to us? And her only response was with a stone face, your grandfather would love you. It wasn't him, it was liquor. And I learned to deal with things like that. You know what I mean? In all actuality, no, that nigga put us out on Christmas Eve. As a grown man, I understand it took him to be drunk to actually do that, but he really never wanted us there in the first place. But since he felt like we were his family, he felt like he loved us, and he should do this because of everything he hadn't done for his daughter in the past, and for everything he hadn't done for his grandkids, he felt like he should put himself out there and totally destroy the dynamic of his home, even though he knew he was such a stickler. And everything had to be the same way. Everything had to be his way. Everything. 4 extra people fucked that up out the rip. He knew it. But it wasn't love that forced them to just jump out there and irrationally make that decision without planning or taking things into consideration. It was the codependency. That's what forced them to do it. That's what continued the cycle. But it's taken me a long time to do this. And I know I'm all over the place. But I'm here now. And I love you motherfuckers. And there's no question. We will change to break the cycle. Fuck what I'm doing. Do what you're doing. It's about self. If you live a terrible, horrible life where nothing goes wrong, nothing goes right, it's because of you. It's nobody else's fault. It's because of your thoughts and the reality that you project. It's just that simple. It really is. So this is it. This is the beginning. It's my first little shit. I know, like I said, I'm all over everywhere, but I'm an all over everywhere type of person. Me, you know, I said that I was going. I'm gonna have this. I'm gonna have an intro. I'm gonna get some music behind my shit. I'm gonna have all that. Nah, you know, maybe someday. But right now, I'm just talking to you motherfuckers. It is what it is. You know, it's such a simple statement. You know, it has been offered so many ways. Que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. But it also is the same as saying, let go and let God. It's also the same as saying, whatever the fuck people say. But the story already written. Regardless of if you think about it on a religious context or a scientific context or a spiritual context, the path is laid. It's zero. And it's positive and negative on either side. And what you see is what you choose. What you have is what you ask for. It's really just that simple. I don't, you know, for the longest time I've tried to understand and figure out why people do the things they do, why people are so angry and shit. I can't be for me to figure out. That taints my reality. That taints my existence. You know. But this is my first try. My shit all rough. I'm coming. Like I said, I love you motherfuckers. And I'm gonna end with this. Now that I finally built up the nerve to post this video and say whatever I'm gonna say, I'm gonna end with this. In my first video, I'm ending with this because it's very important. Why the fuck haven't Chris Brown remade any of Bobby Brown's music? I don't understand. This nigga is like a reincarnation as far as his role or his place in music. You know, Chris Brown is a proper representative of the young men of his era. In a lot of ways, positive and negative. What he do, dancing and all that shit, how his you know, his whole persona is very similar to Bobby Brown's persona. And my prerogative, at least, shit, if I was somewhere making some decisions with some music, I'd have been offered the nigga the chance to remake the shit and put the man in the video, do the whole thing. I think I would go as far as to say it would be a huge success if Chris Brown remade that whole album with Bobby Brown executive producing and all that shit. It would be a huge success. But I'm just another nigga, and that's what I think. Till next time.